Welcome, everybody, to this week's Cosmic Chat with Madeleine Parker and myself, Amalia Natalio. And we are talking about the upcoming new moon in Cancer. And what is interesting is that we've got a little bit of time between the new moon and today. So today, it's not until next week, I believe next Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. It's the 28th that it really happens because it's happening on the 29th UTC at 2:50 a.m. in the morning. So for us, we're about 7 hours, 8 hours earlier. So I would say Pacific Standard Time would be around 7:55 minus midnight. What's that? 8?
So actually, you're right. So it's the 28th at 10:52 p.m. Eastern. So I guess it depends on where you are. It's one of those weird cuspy ones. So so the new moon in Cancer, 10:52 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, the 28th.
At 7 to 8 degrees Cancer. So whatever you have in the cardinals, any cardinal at 7 to 8 degrees is going to be significant. My hair in order here is going to be impacted, and this is a cardinal new moon. So the cardinals indicate seasonal changes, which translate to mega shifts and changes in our lives. And I'm telling you, it's going to be big because we also have the nodes squaring Uranus right now. So everybody is going to experience a tremendous amount of change and shifts going on. It's going to be really big. 84-year cycle, this kind of shift in your house of Taurus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's so interesting is that Madeleine and I were talking before we started recording just about all of the energy that's stirred up right now and all of the shifts that feel like they're taking place. And I know we talk about this because there's always shifts and there's always changes and there's always something going on. What I have noticed in my circle with clients and friends is there's a lot of people who normally are able to go with the flow of things a bit better, that are not able to do that as well or as efficiently. There's things that are stirred up. They feel there's a lot of anxiety. It's almost this frenetic energy that's like building, and it's crescendoing into something. And I guess that's maybe something we can talk about. Like where is this energy going? You know, Madeleine and I were talking a little bit about the level of fear, the feeling of lack and scarcity that's prevalent now. And if we can shift that from lack and scarcity to this feeling of there's always enough, there is enough, we will be and are taken care of, and look at those areas in our life. And it's not about pretending and putting your head in the sand. It's just about really recognizing and shifting your vibration into a state of gratitude and a state of what can I do to help myself and my fellow human being, living being, not just human being. And how can I raise my vibration, which will then ultimately have a ripple effect out with other people. And that's doing simple things that bring you joy, which I know seems counterintuitive when you're feeling a sense of heaviness or you're feeling some anxiety about, oh, what am I going to do about this or that? But it's finding those moments even of joy. And that could be looking out the window and seeing two birds playing with each other and going, wow, that looks like freedom. You know, that feels really good. And you just feel a sense of lightness for a moment. So it's a mindset shift plus an actionable shift. And then I think the cosmic energies that are around us are going to shift us, move us towards what it is that's for our highest and best, which will ultimately be for everyone's highest and best. If we listen, if we follow, if we play along.
I know it's always a question as to how much free will we have. And I always say the astrology and divine gives humans in the material 3D complete free will to go smash into the wall.
Yes.
go ahead, take free will and smash your head up against these walls over.
Go ahead. Yeah. Keep banging at it. Kind of like, to come back to the birds, how at least this has happened to me. Have you ever had a bird that shows up and keeps coming to your window and just banging into it over and over? It's almost like we do that to ourselves. We're just constantly banging into the window or banging into the wall.
Yes. And with this anxiety, we're going to pull some cards around it because I want to know what this Uranus and North Node conjunction really is about. And it does, I'm pretty sure, square the Saturn loosely, because it's happening at 18 degrees, 19 degrees Taurus, and Saturn is at 24 degrees in Aquarius, which is a fixed sign. We're going to see something really, really change that's very rigid and stuck, and it's going to be liberating, but it's going to I want to pull cards and see, does it come with a crash? Does it come with a crisis? Or are we going to see and wake? Is this really an awakening transit? Because Uranus is the energy of awakening. And what are we waking up to? Well, you see, here's the thing, the gas prices and the scarcity reality 3D story that's sort of being told is a lie, because abundance is always in state of occurring. Abundance is created from spirit, as above, so below. It's the life-giving source of energy that comes down, and it is renovated every day, is recharged every day. Life is sprouting every day. New opportunities come every day. So really what we're being called to do is to adjust, and the ways that are being, shall we say, strangled or less, or the flow is being strangled through, like gasoline and maybe certain foods, like all the corporations that run all these food companies, they're really kind of not that healthy foods anyway.
Right.
So if we're seeing scarcity in some of these things, it's really a trick of the mind. Really what we're doing is we're rapidly shifting to the new earth, which is empowering. The people are more empowered, and we have more power than we think, because you can grow food. We can grow our own food, and some of the food that's becoming scarcer may not, where there's alternatives. I mean, that's what we're going to wake up to, is our power, our true innate power, which is our relationship with the stars and the cosmos, rather than maintain our primary relationship with source of security is our relationship with the grid and the matrix. But we're entering into the age of Aquarius, which is the higher dimensions, which is higher frequency, which is about the 5D. So how are we going to materialize in this new age is working with the 5D, which means not being in scarcity mentality, ignoring all that, but just having a higher vision of a better reality of what the alternative is, and staying focused on that and grounding that reality, because that's actually how expansion works. So you don't want to listen to anything, whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, or on the religious, or all that stuff's going to go away. People are going to throw that stuff away, because when it comes down to sort of thriving, we're going to see that getting over our differences, because the age of Aquarius is the people are galvanized. We work together. We all want fresh vegetables and healthy food and happy, safe environments and healthy air. And we all want the same thing. So sorry if I'm going on, but anyway, I'm just trying to help everyone see that we create our reality here now. The people do.
So, and to reiterate something you said about taking a break from the noise coming at us.
Yeah.
Think of, and I talked about this a lot a couple of years ago, is think about the news as it's something that you're taking in. It's a form of energy. It's a form of information that you're ingesting. That you're ingesting. So, can you think in terms like, okay, you don't want to you wouldn't drink poison. You wouldn't eat something that tastes bad. So it's again having an awareness about what's going on without gorging on the poison, gorging on what makes you not feel good.
Yeah, like my kids will say, but mom, it's reality, like get with it. And it's like, here's the thing, really what our reality, our reality is created by our vibration. So screw the reality. Be in the best vibration, create the story that creates your best vibration, which is positive mentality. Really important. That's how, you can't win in life without being positive. And in astrology, you're either going to live your positive or the shadow aspect. And how you do that is by choice. You put your mind consciously, higher consciously aware of a better actions that are more in alignment. Anyway, I feel like I'm really gabbling today. I've got a lot on my chart right now. I've got a lot of charts. I've got the sun on my ascendant. So
you're definitely charged up. You're definitely charged up. But and you know, and I think for those people who are feeling like, okay, well, that's great, Madeleine, you know, being positive and making that choice, but it's hard and I can't do it.
I don't blame you. I know it is hard.
You know, I have some tools and some strategies that I'm going to be sharing over the course of the next few months. I'll put a link in the comments later when things are created, because I think that's the key. Is you're absolutely right. It's the how do I do that? I want to do it, but how do I do it? So, you know, everybody just hang in there, and we're going to be talking about the astrology here, the Cancer new moon, which is going to help with this process.
Right. Really good point, because Cancer is a very nurturing, calming, soothing. It's during the summer. It's fun time. We've got Venus in Gemini, which is a really fun, playful energy. I love Venus in Gemini. Really good times. Some of the best times I've ever had in romance have been when Venus was in Gemini. And everybody has a good time when Venus is in Gemini. Do you want me to go into the read now? Should I jump in, Amalia?
Sure, yeah. And you know, I let you're co-host, so you're ready to go.
Okay.
My Venus is in Gemini, so it does feel good.
Yeah, that's a Venus return for you. That'll be fun.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yay. That's exciting.
That's a good time. Yeah, that's good energy. Now, you know, I don't want to be Pollyanna all the time, which people accuse me of, but I am, because I have a lot of Jupiter. I'm ruled, my sun is ruled by Jupiter, my moon is ruled by Jupiter. So there you go. Anyway, the sun is squaring Jupiter at 0 degrees at this exact time, but a Jupiter square is not horrible. But when you get a sun squaring, what I find in my experience is people's egos get jarred. Your ego gets knocked around a little bit. It's not what you think. And it can sometimes, depends if you have an attachment to your ego idea. Ego, in my opinion, really just means your head, what you think, and you think you have control. That's ego, right? But the heart, your emotional world, is truly connected to source and then higher knowing. And when the ego is separate from your inner knowing, it has its own agenda and it's not in alignment. And then Jupiter, and then the sun comes along and goes, whoa, your ego's throwing you off your Jupiter path. Right. And that can be upsetting, and that can be an area of income or something that's blocked, but it aligns you more. So, and then we also have Mars squaring Pluto, which is interesting, because that's, both of these are ruled by, well, let's just say Mars, Pluto is ruled by, let's just say Scorpio and Aries are ruled by Mars and Pluto. So they're brothers, Mars and Pluto. They do get on. So I say bold action, people taking bold, feeling bold and courageous to go against their fears and deciding to live their true soul. So it's kind of like the sun squaring your Jupiter, which is like your ego idea, perceptions, the way everything's supposed to do and how you're supposed to be on your mission, what you think, not necessarily your inner compass connected. Now Mars comes along and shows you a fear that is behind the ego, making you make that choice. And then you align out of that fear. You see that it was a fear and that you were out of alignment. I know it's kind of confusing, but.
Well, I if I could just speak to what I felt energetically speaking when you mentioned the Mars square Pluto.
Yeah,
I actually felt the sensation in my chest, this like constriction, and almost like this constriction to a breaking to an opening. So if that speaks to anybody listening, because Mars is a very warrior-like energy. It's aggressive. And Pluto is this dark, mysterious death and rebirth action that's going on. And so when you said it, it felt very visceral.
And the sun comes out, and what you're saying is interesting, because you're talking about really kind of what you're saying is a breakthrough.
Right. Yeah.
That fits.
Yeah.
I think so. And look at breakthrough the heart. Now we've just had the Scorpio. We've had a lot of activity in Aries. We have Jupiter in Aries right now. So Jupiter's ruled by Mars. Venus was trining Pluto all week. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens, but it could be, again, Mars is ego, Sun is ego. So some kind of, there is going to be some kind of a tension or a crisis that shifts your direction. And I hate to sound like generic for every moon, but
that's the way it goes though.
I know. And here's the good thing about this one though, is you will break through a limiting fear and it might not feel good.
Well, and that's what it
and you'll be at peace with the results will be better.
Where is that Mars square Pluto, Madelaine?
Mars will be in Aries. It's coming out of Aries. Mars is about to move into Taurus, which would be great. Okay. I love Mars in earth signs. It just is even though it's exalted in Capricorn, fire and earth go great. It grounds the energy. Things are calmed down, less aggressive, more pleasing seeking than conflict seeking. I personally like Mars in Taurus. Mars in Aries, a little bit fired up and let's go.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. It's it's very feisty.
Yes. And plus, we just had Mars conjuncting Chiron this week. So that was people's fears and insecurities and illnesses. I got a little bit sick because I had Mercury squaring my Chiron and Chiron squaring my Mercury. So I kind of think I may have had maybe something weird like COVID, who knows? But I'm better now.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, but Mars and Chiron kind of can make people sick. So I know there's this stuff going around too. But we have a Mercury sextiling Chiron. It's weird how my throat's all. Every time things happen triggered from Chiron, though, you release an old buried toxic wounding or insecurities that you then become mastered over. It makes you a master. It makes you a warrior. And this is what everybody I want everybody to know, because we've had Chiron in Aries for a while now. I don't know, a couple years. So we're really, the last time, one of the times right after World War II, we had Chiron in Aries. People became very powerful. You know, the COVID thing turned us into victors. We have become very powerful as we've become more sovereign and more empowered really by it all. This is something we're going to see. Chiron in Aries is fantastic what it does to everybody collectively. It makes us bold warriors for the good, so we can, as a collective, we get over things and we become very auspicious, because that's when America did very, very well after the war too. Very, very well. So,
well, and also, forgive my lack of certainty on the dates and the chronology of it, but was that I think that was after the Depression.
Yeah,
there was
Depression was in the 30s, the late 20s at the end. We had the booming 20s, and then they hit the Depression in the late 30s. I mean, 30s. Late 20s, early 30s, through the 30s, and then the war kicked in at the end of. It started in 39, I think, was when World War II officially maybe started. 1940, 39, ended 1945, 11/11, November 11. So then after that, Chiron was in Aries. People were very nose to the grindstone, do what it got to do what we got to do. And this is what we're looking at. We're going to see that. But here's the thing. People think, that sounds like really rough and hard, but it's not. People are so much happier when you're in control, you're connected to I don't know, there's a thing about it, working hard as a collective, where you feel like you have power in your life, you feel good, and it's hard work, and you sleep solid, it's healthy. So true. Disconnected from our survival in the nature skills. If you had to live in nature without the matrix, you'd have to do a lot during the day to get food ready, you know what I mean, and get dinner ready. It takes up 3-4 hours, and to walk. Yeah. So, but it's grounding, it's spiritual to be connected with your food and your way of living. And even if you're not a gardener, you have things you can do to trade with other gardeners. So really, we're going to see what we're really made of, as a country. And it's great. It's great. I mean, I mean to sound political, but what I'm trying to say is that Americans are very resilient, hardworking people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, let's talk about, since we were talking about Aries, let's talk about Aries in terms of the new moon in Cancer, because we've got Aries, a fire
Right.
sign, and a new
With
moon
that,
in.
yeah, and Aries. Yeah, when here I am with that square to Pluto. Wow. Triggers probably. So I'm just going to get my chart up. Aries, find out for Aries here. Let's do that. Okay, so Aries, you guys have Taurus in the second house. So something very big is going to shift around your income, how you make money, your job situation, but you're going to be more liberated. All of these big changes are going to liberate you more. So, and Aries have Cancer over their fourth house. So it's going to square, we've got Pluto and Capricorn in your 10th house. Something around your living situation is going to change and become more family oriented, become more family centered. It's because this is a new moon. So we're looking at a new beginning. So now, again, this is a new beginning that could seed now and then come into the full moon in Cancer in Capricorn season. That's 6 months away in winter. So this is a flip thing. And this is a solstice new moon on the solstice. So very close to the solstice.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at a cardinal shift and change for Aries in the fourth house, which is living, real estate, property, family, shifting and changing, and plus second house is involved. So a financial thing occurring around that shift that shifts your income or shifts the way you work. And I do think over the 8th house, you have Scorpio. We've had a lot of eclipses for you guys in Scorpio this year and stuff going on. So which is like other people's resources. So something around your finances become more stabilized, very strong, around that also changes your living situation. So maybe your living situation becomes something around property, real estate stabilizes your finances, or you liberated through investments of real estate, something like that. Okay, so for Taurus, your first house, you guys, I really want to know what happens in anybody I know that's Taurus, because this is going to be crazy. You're going to have the nodes, going to have Mars, Uranus. Is that it? Chiron? No, Chiron's going to stay in Aries for a while. So yeah, so you guys are going to be really like going through some radical shifts and changes in your life. And you have Cancer in the third house. You might suddenly become very busy. Something opens up, you wake up to something. This Uranus is an awakening energy. So there's an awakening experience occurring for Taurus for sure. And Cancer in your third house is going to be something about the way you communicate to people is going to change, but you could start a small business. You could have the seeding of an idea that's more in your soul that you decide to do to start a small business. An opportunity occurs through meeting people, neighbors, close associations, close trips, busy time. A small business could happen. You become more self-employed because third house can be your own employee. You run your own little deal there. You run your thing.
You run your own deal.
Yeah, you got your own deal going on. Also, yeah, we have Jupiter going in retrograde at the end of the month, but we'll talk about, oh gosh, that's not that far away. I forget to talk about that. So Aries things, something, whatever house you have, Aries is going to come back from the past and be, that is supposed to be in your mission, but I don't want to distract. There's a lot to talk about. So
I'll try to remember to come back to that at the end.
Yes.
You can come back.
When we next talk, we'll talk about Jupiter in retrograde. It will have been in retrograde a while then. So now we're looking at Gemini. Gemini
can I pause you for one sec? Just so you mentioned the Jupiter retrograde thing and something's going to come back from the past. Is that for everybody or is it?
Yep, everybody. Okay. Depending on the house that it hits. If you're a Libra rising, it'll be a relationship. If you're in the wrong relationship, if you're Libra rising, you're going to have a breakup with Jupiter in retrograde. It's going to go back over your descendant and it's going to rattle your relationship. But if it's the right one, it will stay and it will expand to its next best level. If it's in your 10th house, like me, it'll probably be a business from the past coming in or a career opportunity that I have that is from the past because I have Aries over my 10th house. My Jupiter, by the way, my Jupiter is in Aries. I have to have my Jupiter return right now.
So what are people looking at? They're just going to look and see where Jupiter currently is in their
where
chart.
Aries covers your chart, which house?
Where Aries covers your chart. Okay.
If you're Aries ascendant, it's on your first house. Jupiter retrograde, something from your past about you that a old version of you comes back, a more true version of you comes back. But you become more expanded from that because Jupiter expands it.
Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that for people, and I didn't want to give the wrong instruction. So
okay, good.
Wait, we'll be circling back to it, but if for those who want to nerd out a little bit like we do and see what's what, that's where you go. Okay, so back to Gemini.
Gemini. So Gemini have Cancer in their second house, so a new birth or something that could be seeding of a new way of making money that is good for you. Don't forget, wherever Cancer covers your chart, being that the activation thing, it's going to be more nurturing. It's going to be more good, calming, soothing, restorative. It's moon-based, moon ruled, so it's emotionally stable. It's like a more emotionally stable choice. It's rather emotionally centric things rather than mental. So anyways, so you guys have Cancer in the second house. So something that's more nurturing and comforting and better way for you to earn money. Maybe like, as an example, let's say you're a massage therapist, you now get to work in a really nice place that's much more aesthetic and calming to you, maybe that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And you have Taurus over your 12th house. So that's big. That's like a whole new awakening, big time awakening, a shift completely in a belief system, and a big awakening to where you've been out of alignment. 12th house connects you more to God, your soul, your truth. You're clearing a karma there, a sudden shift in perspective around your purpose, that kind of a thing. Letting something go. Yes, that is the house of release. It really is. That the 12th house can really be a release, a final let go of something that is not nurturing and good for you. This is a good, I mean, the moon itself is in a beautiful energy. Because Cancer is ruled by the moon, so it's in its own rulership. So the moon itself is a beautiful energy. It's just, I don't like that Mars squaring stuff. It's like, yeah.
It's coming in there and mucking it all up.
Yeah, but luckily the nurturing energy of this moon might have a nice soothing wrap blanketing around that triggering. Okay, so Cancer in your first house. Oh no, did we finish Gemini? Yeah. Cancer for you guys, and look, the conflict card comes up. There could be conflict coming up for Cancer with that Mars squaring Pluto. And I have Pluto conjuncting my Venus right now. It's pretty crazy. I know. So for you guys, it's interesting because it's just on the solar return. So you're going to have the sun, on your ascendant, on your ruling planet, or if you're reading this because of your sun, it's on your sun, you're having your solar return. So this is going to be a very powerful time for you. And I actually feel it. I feel very strong, oddly enough, because I have the sun on my ascendant right now. And it's also, this is going to be a Cancer on my North Node. So I have Cancer North Node, but whatever planets you have in Cancer, it's going to get a nice charge from the sun. That's what the sun does when it hits one of your planets. It gives it a boost of energy. And so Cancer are going to feel more emboldened. Cancer have done a lot of work. They've got Pluto in the 7th house. So they've done a lot of soul cleansing, codependency issues. Cancer are much more in their power. That's the other thing about the Mars and the Pluto square. I think people are going to see that because we've got that Chiron in Mars too. People are going to see how much more in their power they are. They've taken their power back from something that they've given their power away to. And then you've got Taurus in the 11th house, which is a sudden change in groups of people, which is happening for me actually, because I'm suddenly doing a lot of workshops online and I'm meeting a lot of people doing retreats. So it's kind of, and the 11th house is great. I love having Taurus in the 11th house in Uranus there. It's like liberation, financial liberation through fun groups of people. It's the house of Aquarius. So, and that's it's lucky gains and recognition. So for Cancer, this is a good time for Cancer rising. Their things are going to, and plus they've got Jupiter on their MC going back and forth all year. Great.
career.
My Jupiter return is lasting all year because Jupiter keeps going back and forward right on my Jupiter return. Like I'm at 8 degrees Jupiter in my Jupiter. And I'm like, you could stay there forever. So I've got a good couple years. I mean, I've got a good year here. So, and most Cancer do.
Nice.
So yes. So now we're looking at Leo. Leo have this Cancer in their 12th house. So a revelation, this new moon, a seeding of, well, you're going to release, again, with that Jupiter squaring the sun, you're going to release an ego idea of what your Jupiter mission is. Everybody is. They're going to get a clarity, a redefinition, especially with the nodes coming in with that thing happening on the nodes with Uranus. So we're really sort of waking up to a more practical, more financially abundant way to continue on our mission that is more guided, and the universe is guiding us there. So for Leo, you're going to get some kind of an awakening up to letting go of something. Again, that's not really good for you. It's a release, final release of things that aren't nurturing and aren't good for you. You're going to love yourself more, Leo, is kind of that energy, because you're going to kind of wake up to your self-destructive sounds really strong, but things that are, you're going to learn to love yourself like more, because Cancer is nurturing. So it's about the self and it's about your soul, the 12th house. So you're going to more align with what's right for you soul wise, that's nurturing and good for you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. I think
and remember, even if it's not like, oh, something happens because when you have a planet in the 12th or one of these full moons or a new moon in the 12th house, it kind of feels like nothing really happens for you guys or me, whoever has that in that house. But there's a real big internal shift that happens that then plays out in the material world.
I feel like it's almost like a completion of something, yes, so that you can then, I mean, well, it is a completion of something so that you can then step into what it is you're meant to do.
And you can let go of all the junk you've gotten collected in your backpack that you don't want to bring with you in the next round.
Yes.
All
Leave
right.
that there.
Yep. You empty it out.
Okay. So,
Virgo, you guys have all of this happening. Taurus is in your 9th house, which is nice, very nice. Traveling, a wake up spiritual thing, making money more of teaching or doing a course. And then you've got Cancer in your 11th house. Nice. So Virgo are going to start some kind of a new, they're going to become more well known for some reason. Something's going to happen, a seeding of an opportunity that they become more well known because of these squares, Sun, Jupiter square. They may suddenly see that there's something, a better way for them to be on the internet or to take their business on the internet, and it can do very well, like a new opportunity. Could be even like a course, kind of like me, like new things happening online on the internet, because that's where I have Taurus and Virgo have Cancer there. So new opportunity around, or you could meet your new tribe. You could meet a person that then introduces you to your new tribe. And this, whatever happens on a new moon really can take 6 months to materialize. We were talking about this because I met the person, my workshops are now just really hitting on this right when the solar return was my first workshop with this new group of people and this new way. This other woman is kind of running and it's fantastic. But it all started in that 6 months ago on the Sagittarius. I'm sorry, the
Taurus.
Yes, but we had this all sort of also came around the Sagittarius full moon. So
okay. And the eclipse.
Yes. So it's very much seeded back then. So we're looking at things that are seeding now that will really bear fruit in 6 months. So for Virgo, it's in your 11th house. So you could meet a new tribe of people that are much more nurturing to you, the real loving kind, because you've got Scorpio, you have Capricorn over your 5th house, which means you do have a tendency towards codependent, toxic friendships that aren't necessarily good for you. So now you're going to meet groups of people that are really soul nurturing, that's good, but you're going to come off online there's an idea that brings you out in the public more and more well known, something like that, that puts you more recognition in some way out in the world. And it could be through social media, it could be through meeting a new group of friends. Hope I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So now we are looking at Libra. So they have Taurus over their 8th house. So this could be a nice new moon for them. They could suddenly become wealthy through a partnership, through another person's finances. They could suddenly get into a relationship because they have Jupiter retrograding. They could get into another relationship or their relationship or spouse comes in with some kind of money too. That could be nice for Libra, and they have Cancer over their 10th house, which then brings them into a more harmonic, self-nurturing, more good, caring, nurture. They become in a position in life where they can be more caring and more in their MC, because Cancer, Libra ascendant usually have an MC in Cancer, not all of them, but mostly. And so they're going to be able to sort of step into that less sort of, they're going to be more relaxed. The Cancer energy is relaxed. That's exactly why I've been in my flip-flops. I'm in my, it's kind of like as soon as the Cancer energy comes in, you just wear your shorts and flip-flops and, roam around and feel schleppy and low-key and at home. Like I have this new thing, like if I go with a date on a man, I'm going to show up in my sweats. My hair is going to look like crap because this is what I usually look like at home. So it's like, I really think the man should see what they're really buying here, It's funny. But Cancer, they tend to be very schleppy because they like to be at home.
That's hilarious, Madeleine. Yeah. So it's pretty much like, okay, this is going to be the baseline and everything from here beyond will be even better. So here, this is, if you like me now, wait till I really dress it up.
That's right. And if I dress up for the date, I feel like I'm putting on a false idea. I'm lying. Because how many times will you be seeing me dressed up like that? Only when you decide to take me out. But the rest of the time I look like I'm a schlepper.
This is an interesting experiment. I would be curious to see how this plays out. And there may be others too. Because we always, when we go out on a first date or we meet someone for the first time, we always put our best face, our best self forward. And what if we just go as we are?
Yeah, and flip-flops and sweats and a funky sweatshirt.
Well, maybe
it doesn't have to be funky, or it can be clean, but just totally like you're not trying to be sexy at all.
Maybe you're putting some effort in. You don't want to show up and be like, I don't care about you. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to even put any effort in. So it's maybe you do a little bit
self-care, like you care about yourself.
Yeah, a couple notches above what you would sit on your couch watching Netflix.
Yeah. See, these sweats I'm wearing have paint on them.
Well, no one would have known, but now you just showed them. So now they're
so comfortable. They're cozy. I love wearing them.
It must be chilly there based on what you're wearing.
It's finally, actually today is finally really warmed up today, where I could actually go in the water. People are swimming now. So excited.
Wow.
So happy to get out in the water because I'm a very watery person.
Yes.
Got Cancer rising, Pisces moon.
Well, okay. So I don't know is there anything else you wanted to say about Libra?
No, that's just a full moon, a new moon in their 10th house, career, a new moon in career that is possibly involving real estate. Again, Cancer is the 4th house. All of these Cancer new beginnings could involve real estate. And that's definitely a possibility in my situation too. I'm going to be doing some real estate transactions. So, it's all 4th house stuff, which is real estate, property, family. Okay, mother. Now we're looking at Scorpio. Scorpios have been through a lot because of these eclipses, and plus they've got this huge thing going on in their 7th house with Taurus. So relationships are mega shakeup for Scorpio, mega shakeup. If you are not in the right relationship, Scorpio, just say bye-bye. It will go down. Because you've got Taurus in your 7th house. So if you've made it already, though, you've had a lot of eclipses in this polarity. If you've made it so far, this is the final test.
Well, I'll tell you something, and I've been sharing this on social, is that during the time I was sick, I really did almost sabotage my relationship because I just went into all of the fear and the isolation and the aloneness and the abandonment wounds and all of that which I really feel has to do with the virus is there. It feels to me like, and I don't know if this is true, and I may have mentioned this last time we did it, the cosmic chat, it's this separation. It's to make us feel isolated and alone and separated. And when you're in that place and you don't feel well, I mean, you go from being like okay to so not okay and in the dumper really, really fast. And when you don't feel well, it's hard to pull yourself out. And so I think
in Vedic, my Vedic teacher that I like to study with, he talks about Scorpios as needing Scorpio need divination more than any of the signs because they have emotion, they're very emotionally complex, and it's very hard for them to manage their emotions. They're here to manage their emotions. They're here to learn that. And tarot and astrology is really balancing for Scorpio. They get refortified, they get calm, they get, because those are the deepest waters. They can go, woo, really dramatic.
Oh, it definitely is big with Scorpio, with a Scorpio as my ascendant. So it's, I feel.
What degree is your ascendant? Oh my gosh, you're gonna have.
I don't remember, and I don't have my chart here.
Oh,
it's oh, hold on. I can probably
know this because you want to know if your ascendant is opposing this Uranus conjunct North Node. Because if you're in anywhere from like 15 to 23 degrees in the fixed, you're going to feel this pretty impactful. I have it on my North Node squaring my Saturn. Sorry, it's squaring my Saturn. I have my Saturn at 19 degrees Aquarius. So squaring my Saturn.
So I'm gonna look really quickly and just for giggles. Let's see.
All people who have Scorpio or Taurus in their, any rising, ascendant, sun, moon, you want to look at what degree you're at.
Right. Look and see.
You want to know this big change.
Okay, so I look at so many things. I am surprised you can remember yours. I can't keep track.
I know mine by heart. I'm training my kids to know their chart by heart because then I can tell them what exactly is going to happen if they.
Yeah, I mean that is helpful. Okay, so here we go. Pulling it up now. And let's see. Okay.
Yeah, the cards were okay.
It is.
Bring us spirit.
All right, I'm definitely going to need my glasses for this. So it is at about 14, 15.
Oh my gosh. Holy Manoli, yes, you are absolutely going to have this all opposing. You got to read about this. Okay, you want to look up Uranus opposing ascendant, the North Node opposing the ascendant, and then put those two stories together. And that's happening in your life. And that is an 84-year cycle. You'll never have that again. You'll never have Uranus in this situation again. And then Mars is going to conjoin it when it comes into a Taurus, because Mars is moving faster than both those.
Wow.
So yeah, okay. You want to definitely pull some cards around that deal.
Okay. So I'm buckling up again. I mean, I thought I was like just coasting along, and here we are.
Nobody is in these changes.
So to kind of finish
I'll pull cards for you right now. Okay.
Okay. Well, and also to kind of bring it full circle with the relationship thing with any other Scorpios out there. You may have tried to sabotage your relationship unconsciously or subconsciously,
right,
and it didn't work because, and to me, it's just a confirmation that it is an aligned relationship. It is one that's important. It is one that is meant to be and part of your soul connection. So I don't know if that'll make anyone feel a little bit better.
That's right. That's right. If you're in the right relationship, it's going to be all right. You might get into an argument, as it says here.
Yeah.
So, but what the argument will be about is your mission, because something's going to shift around missions for everybody, because we've got Saturn squaring the nodes as well. Or are we out of that? The nodes are at 20 and Saturn's at 25, and Saturn's in retrograde. So Saturn is coming up squaring the nodes.
Yeah, coming back.
So we are going to be tilting our purpose, whether some kind of a big crisis happens globally that tilts us all to wake up to really charge into our purpose and calling more. That could happen. Something radical could happen. I get the Cancer card. We do get this card, which is stress. So let's see what I get, clarity, but then we get knowing how to materialize and make abundance. So anyway, I think that victory comes. Yeah, as long as people don't have negative thinking. So that's the thing we want to pull away from is negative thinking. You'll be fine.
Right.
Just don't be negative about what your perceptions are about what's going on. Don't, we all tell these big dramatic stories about everything. Like somebody passed me something on Facebook or Instagram, like this there's no food, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, freaking you the heck out. You know, it's like, we're clearing karma here, people, which is the illusion that we do not have connection with spirit to create abundance.
Which we do.
Which we do. We are very important. We are masters at it. We're here to become masters at it.
So I have no notes written down for Scorpio. So can you go back over what Scorpio
let's go back over Scorpio. All right. So Scorpio, you have Cancer over your 9th house. So a possible new beginning where you teach or you become a leader or you start a course.
I'm doing all of those things.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, good. Then we also have Taurus in your 7th house. So something radical is shifting in relationships. You could, if you're in a right relationship, you could become in a contracted business negotiation could occur. I'm going to pull cards for Scorpio with this Taurus. So in other words, a new shift in your belief system that opens things up in your relationship house to this change. So a new seating or a new opportunity comes in. Communication. Well, there's that whole idea. See, now here's something that is going to happen to a lot of people that are in divine relationships as you become stepping into your mission more. And I know it's been a while since we've talked about that with you, but that looks like mission here coming in. And again, there's going to possibly be conflicting ideas about it. But conflicting
ideas between the two people.
Yeah, it could be, or you were conflicted about it, or you weren't sure about it, or somebody's conflicted about it, but you're going to see how to get money out of it. You're going to get paid. You'll see how this can actually pay you. So what do we have there for Taurus? That is your 9th, that is in your 7th house. So something with your partner creates financial liberation. And then we have this Cancer new moon in your 9th house. It could involve teachers, traveling, courses, publishing. And you're really letting go because you've got Scorpio, you've got the South Node. Don't forget, I keep forgetting about mentioning the South Node, which is in Scorpio. So you're really letting go of toxic attachments to security-based choices all year. Because you've got the South Node on your, because the nodes are going to be in Taurus for another year at least, and 4 months. It's 18 months total. And it started in January 2022. So
I keep forgetting about that too.
Yeah, I know. So you're going to let go of some sort of toxic. So in other words, there's some sort of fear. As I'm pulling cards on this, I can already tell that there is an opportunity with your twin, with your true person here, writing, communication, that, and it's going to be fun because that jovial Venus in fun. I think you're going to go back to that mission. I'm telling you, I still hold on to that because I know it happened on 12/21, 2020. Yes. So I still think that's coming back, but there's an opportunity around it, money coming in. So look at it hitting the light. So in other words, that's that Jupiter retrograde.
Yeah. And my Jupiter is retrograde also.
Oh, well then that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it is very interesting. And there are what I love about this is sometimes when you share the forecast, Madeleine, and you're touching in on it, you're kind of encompassing all the potentials out there for people. And I will, I'll feel into, oh, I can relate to that if it's mine, or, oh, I know a client and that fits for her, or that fits for my friend here. So that's for him. This entire Scorpio was like, check, traveling, teaching, publishing, starting a course, letting go of fear-based choices, stepping more into the mission, new opportunities. It's all of those things are happening. And then the conflict, I'm not totally sure, but
it could be though the conflict, because you're in divine partnership, isn't going to be bad, but it could be that you've always not been sure about this. It's because it's hitting in the head spot of my read. So when I do the head spot, when I do my reads, that's what I teach, is in the head spot is hitting the conflict, which would indicate that in your head, you weren't sure about this, or you were conflicted about it, or you had a different idea, or was it different? So it doesn't necessarily mean conflict with a person. Oftentimes it can mean you were confused about how it would work out, or you didn't, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So does that resonate?
Yeah. I'm trying it.
You see, I'll ask clarifying on it.
Because here's the thing, in my head, it's all figured out. But I think there's I believe what's happening is there's this heart block.
Wow,
There's
that's so funny. You have been conflicted about it. It's coming in all the time.
yeah.
I think you find maybe because you've been more focused, you haven't seen how it's going to bring finances, or you haven't seen it yet because it wasn't supposed to happen yet, but it's building. You have a mission with him. And also this is you saving money. This is you holding back because of finances possibly, but divine says that.
I've been spending, that's the thing, is I've been spending so much money lately. I'm almost, maybe that's a sign of, okay, calm down. Stop it. That's enough.
But here's the thing that's important to see is that don't worry about it, because if it's inspiring you, this inspires you, don't worry about the money, go forward with it. Things are going to go forward here. Information is coming in though too. So it's not like it's just going to be you deciding for it to go forward. There's a door opening up around it, or an opportunity that makes it show you that this is an open way to go. But you've been conflicted about it because this card keeps coming up. So the reason that card keeps coming up is because it wants to help you identify what that was, that you were worried about not doing it because not thinking money, or it took you away from putting your energies in things that do make money, stuff like that, something like that.
All right, I'll lead into it. Hopefully if somebody else who's watching can relate to this and they get a little gift out of this as well, of understanding and integration of the information. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'm teaching courses online if anybody's interested joining in, and I'm doing retreats in northern Idaho. So if anybody wants to go, and we're doing a retreat in Tulum next year too. So hopefully Amalia comes. So I just wanted to let people know about it.
Well, and at the end, share a little bit about the courses.
Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to do Sagittarius, which is great. So for Sagittarius, Cancer is in your 8th house. So again, this could be a new birth in finances from another person, which would be great, Sagittarius. Finances, a financial windfall or some source of income from another person, from an outside source, or your spouse gets money, a new beginning that empowers your spouse income, or that you get money from an outside source. You could, like, if let's say you're a musician, my son, for instance, a new moon in the 8th house could be he gets signed on a contract to do some kind of a recording or some, so it's like some sort of outside income coming in. Or it could be a new sexual relationship. Again, the 8th house can be sexual, like true sexual compatibility, like a true Kundalini soul connected type sex.
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
Yeah. And Sagittarius have Taurus over there, 6th house. So I'm Sagittarius sun, and that's Jupiter ruled, and my moon is Jupiter ruled. So it'll be impacting my Jupiter too. But Saggy sun people have this Taurus or Saggy ascendant, have it in their 6th house. So a day-to-day routine is going to change completely in your life, Sagittarians. But also it's a house of disease. So a health crisis could show up that changes your day-to-day routine. You have to start exercising. You have to, you quit sugar, something like that. But it's most likely going to be something that financially liberates you. In the 6th house is often work. And so some kind of a work opportunity comes in that shifts your day-to-day living experiences and makes you more busy, but more liberated at the same time. You maybe start working for yourself. You shift, you move, and you start a new practice in another area. If you're a practitioner, because the 6th house is often healers who have a lot of planets in their 6th house. So that's for Sagittarius. Taurus in their 6th house, Cancer in their 8th. Finances coming through an outside source.
I mean, that's happening for you.
It is actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. Those workshops I'm doing, I don't have to run the money. They run it all, and they're paying me. It's good.
And you were just talking about dating and going as you are. And so,
right.
Who knows what kind
Never
of fun
know.
Madelaine's going to be having.
That's right. I could meet a knight, my knight in shining armor. And he could have a lot of money. It happens.
It could
You
be
can see
from
that.
him.
Yeah, and you see that in a lot of people's charts, because if they have Jupiter in the 8th house, oftentimes that means their spouse is wealthy.
Yes. Yeah. Lots
Okay.
of potential there. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Sagittarius is good. So Capricorn, you guys have Taurus in your 5th house. Watch out if you don't want children, because that could be a sudden surprising pregnancy that alters your life drastically. But it could be a creative project too, because you become liberated. You suddenly become more expressive. You suddenly step into your talent. I know Capricorns who could use this transit.
yes.
Those
Capricorns could.
Yeah. Stepping into your fire, passion, new beginnings in your sorry, I lost that. Taurus is in your 5th house, creative project. A new financial thing could come through your children, something very surprisingly. That'd be great, because my ex-husband is Capricorn rising, and he's got planets in his 5th house and his Jupiter. He's lucky through his kid. So I feel like a windfall can come through a child, or something could really change. So that'd be great if something happens to my son. A real drastic shift and changing in the life of your children. And then we've got Cancer in your, Cancer? Oh, in your 7th house, relationships, beginning in relationships. That's right. So you could have a meeting of a new person that is your divine mate, because it's on your descendant. Anytime we have major transits on a descendant, it usually triggers that thing. So descendant is relationships. So you suddenly meet somebody and you become involved with them, and it's your true, nurturing, loving, right relationship, I would say. Maybe not, because if it's early in your life, 7th house can sometimes mean first marriage and you have a second one, but it would be a relationship that lasts a while.
So it's interesting you mentioned that, because we were talking about the Scorpio energy, and that create the basically with the Scorpio energy of coming into divine mission. Now, so my guy is a Capricorn sun, and so this is all about creative projects, and it's got the relationship 7th house connection, just like Scorpio.
Oh my gosh, that puts the puzzle pieces together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
OMG.
Really cool.
Wow,
yeah.
That really helps you kind of see what's happening, doesn't it? It's
exactly.
so interesting.
Exactly.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess to share with folks is that when you're looking at your chart and you're also paying attention to your partner's chart or your children's chart, or like Madeleine has been mentioning with her kids, and even her not anymore husband, you can see where these connection points are. You don't even have the degrees are really helpful, but even without the degrees, just knowing the houses,
that's right,
and knowing where things match up, it really can help you see the bigger picture. And for me, I know it helps keep me from going off the rails.
Yes, that's right. That's what this is for. It's the stars. It raises our vibrations. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. You don't have to be this looks overwhelming to people at first, but once you get used to the language, you're picking it up. It's not that hard.
Right.
And I think knowing your chart and just looking up your transits you don't need to be an astrologer. And the benefit that you get from that is huge. Just understanding the houses and knowing a full moon is in that house for you can be really, really helpful. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay. So we've got for Capricorn, Taurus in the 5th, Cancer in the 7th. And is there anything else you wanted to say, about the energy, any of the Mars, any of the squares, oppositions, the Jupiter?
Well, you've got Pluto on your 1st house, but you guys are done, man. You guys have had Pluto retrograde. You've had Pluto in your 1st house, in your ascendant, or on Capricorn. It's been in Capricorn for 20 something years now. It's almost out. Awful for Capricorn. But it's almost like you went through this death and transformative experience, and you're coming out the other side. You're coming out of that grinder out of the other side, and you now are the diamond, and you're going to start seeing that now. Or you may already be seeing that. You've cleared some deep karmic stuff, and you've really let go of a lot. Capricorn have done a lot of work. So they're going to start seeing the ascension results of their hard work, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, And you have Pluto there, which is taking your Saturnness and to the rigidity and making it to your soul, so that the structure of Saturn is aligned with your soul, because Capricorn are so strong about how they think survival is going to be, and it goes against their soul. So this is, you've really come out of that. You're going to do great after this. This is a great time for Capricorn. If you were born with Capricorn, people say, oh, poor thing, but really you come out the diamond, you're going to get diamond.
So is this only for the Capricorn ascendants, or would you say
any planet
sun?
you have, any planet you have in Capricorn, any planet you have in Capricorn has been hell, because you've had Pluto on it. I have 3 planets in Capricorn.
Oh, wow.
And I've watched it. I had my Mars in Capricorn, I have my Mercury in Capricorn, and right now my Venus in Capricorn is getting right. Pluto's on that, but it could be divine love coming too. That's a possibility too. But I'm definitely being rattled to release fears of control for sure. And it's all in my 7th house of relationships.
Well, that's been an area for you for a bit.
Yeah, I've had to do a lot of work there, but it's been great. I feel great from it. So that's the point, is Capricorns are coming out of that tunnel of transformation, the death, the cocoon. They're coming out as butterflies. That's why today on my walk, I saw butterflies everywhere.
Oh, that's so nice. That feels good when you see those little spirit animal.
Somehow Capricorns are going to survive. You're going to make it. You're going to live. I was Laird Hamilton when he talks about how, because I studied Laird Hamilton. He's a big wave surfer, and he has a lot of planets in the 8th house, which is water, and he's all Pisces. He has all water planets in his chart. It's amazing. He's really here to combat his fear of water or drowning. He must have drowned in a past life. And so he's like, when you listen to him interview, he goes, I think this time that's it. I'm dead. Done. I'm at the bottom of the ocean. I don't see any way up. I'm done. He said he's accepted his death like over and over. And even his wife says, yeah, he may not come home tonight. Like, I have to know every day, I have to let him go completely. Like, she's amazing. And then he says, wow. I know. And he has these near-death experiences all the time. Like, he thinks he has to live that way. Like, otherwise he's not alive. You know, he believes in it. Anyway, he's alive, and he comes back up. He goes, I can't believe I'm alive. And every time he survives it, he's like, life is just this incredible experience. He's like, yeah, but you don't get it. I'm still alive. Like, that's what it's like with the Pluto and the Capricorn. You're like, oh my God, I'm still alive. I'm still here. What a miracle, you know?
I'm doing my best to tune into what that must feel like.
Yes.
To really have that experience. Yes, where you come out of something and you're just in awe.
Yeah.
Of being here.
Yes, that's how I feel every month when I pay my mortgage and my rent.
I think that's a slightly different energy. I think that's slightly different.
I did it. Yes, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I said, I think it's a slightly different energy, but for you, it probably feels the same.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You go, hallelujah. All of a sudden, life is this miracle, because they're really, and I have this good friend, and how she lands on her feet, I do not know. She's got nowhere to live, and jobs are always like, but she's always fine. And I just said to her today, I'm like, you give people like me lots of hope. Because somehow she manages, in some chaotic, random way, she manages. And I'm like, I need to learn how to do that. But that's Capricorn. She doesn't have any Capricorn in her chart. She's just like, you know, MC Scorpio, which is when she starts letting go and forgetting her fears and devotion to her cause, you do well.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is part of her soul's journey.
Yes,
is to experience that particular type of life.
You become more devotional because you become more connected to a divine presence. You're like, wow, God saved me. There is a God.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I've been saved. There's salvation here. Okay.
Okay. So Aquarius.
Yeah, you guys have Saturn retrograde in your ascendant or your sun, whatever sign you have Aquarius in. I have my Saturn there. Your ruling planet is Saturn, so that's quite a big thing going on for Aquarians. You want to look at that, whatever. Well, if you're ascendant, that's in your first house, so career from the past that is more socially helpful. Aquarius is the energy of helping the people. You have Taurus in your 4th house. Wow, radical shifts and changes. You may move completely to a different place. Could be radical shift and changes, moving, home, property, real estate, something shifting dramatically. Family, you could get into a new family. You could start living with someone. You could move out, move in. But whatever it is going to be liberating. It's going to be financially. In fact, this friend I'm talking about, she's ascendant Aquarius. She's absolutely, completely into it. She thought she had nowhere to live. And now she just finds out she's got an amazing place to live. She was going to camp out on my land as a homeless.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wow, I can't believe it. She found a great place to live. So it worked out.
For her. That's great.
And that's Taurus in her 4th house. So, and it's liberating for her financially because it actually does put her in very close to where she works. She'll probably be working a lot more at this place. So that's that. And so they have Taurus over their 4th, and then the Cancer moon is in the 6th. So this is a new beginning in a work related topic that could be very healing for you, working in the healing arts, or a new day-to-day routine that totally shifts and changes about your work, or a new beginning in a work related type area, because the 6th house is work, or a new beginning in health. You take a much more vigorous health routine. You start exercising, you nurture yourself, you take care of it. You could go on a retreat. You could take yourself on a health retreat. A new beginning where you start doing that for yourself, because nurturing it's all, the 6th house in Cancer is all about self-love, self-care. It's also the house of service. You may step up and start being of service to nurture others in some form of capacity, your work, in a work related. You could start healing, helping a healing program, or become involved in a healing program. The 6th house is healing. A lot of nurses, doctors have planets in the 6th house. Questions for Aquarian? Is that it?
That pretty well summed it up. I can't think of anything. Yeah.
So now we're going to go to Pisces. Which I am. Pisces people will have a very, shall we say, Cancer in the 5th house. Watch out. If you're in danger of getting pregnant, watch out.
What if it's the guy?
He could get pregnant. He could make the woman pregnant. He could get pregnant. Yes. And I see 111. Yeah. So watch out. Either of you could get pregnant.
Okay. Because
it'll radically change the man's life unless he bails. But mostly they don't.
You've mentioned this now. This is twice with Misha. So I feel like, okay, extra careful.
Yes, be extra careful. But with you guys, I think it's a creative project, because the 5th house is a child or creative project. So this would indicate.
True. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Being on creative project, you could start performing. The 5th house is staging, performer. Could also be a teaching house. But the 5th house is nurturing a creative project that's really nurturing, that's helpful, that's mothering, like your thing. Help. And the 5th house is relationships, nurturing relationships, romance. It's about romance. The 5th house, by the way, interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So Pisces could get into a romance. Absolutely. A romantic partnership could open up. A creative project.
Would you say, I'm sorry, Madeleine, 5th house, wouldn't you say that's more of a, we may have talked about this before, a lovely romantic relationship. It feels really great, but it may not necessarily have longevity.
It could. With the 5th house, it can not be long-term relationships. It can be fun, short-term relationships, but those aren't always bad. You grow up in those a lot of times. And because we have Venus in Gemini right now, it could be very fun and joyful and playful and good. And let's see where Jupiter is retrograding. Let's see Jupiter. Let's see what kind of a relationship it would be. The 3rd house is Taurus for Pisces, which is very business, radical shifts and changes in day-to-day traveling, like 3rd house or relationship with partners, something. Taurus in the 3rd house is some kind of a financial liberation through communication, through emails, through talking, short distance traveling, businesses. Okay. So then we've got Cancer in their 5th house, creative projects, performing. My son is Pisces ascendant. You could he could get a really good opportunity in a relationship, but also in a perform. He could start performing somewhere, a new opportunity to perform somewhere. So that's the 5th house. It's very creative. It's creative self-expression. New beginning, a seed is going to be planted there that then expands in 6 months from now, probably in the opposite house, the 11th house, which gives you notoriety. You become known, you're seen.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, because these are new seeded beginnings that emancipate you. This is all at the same time that all these nodes are shifting, and these are going to be the directions that we're tilted that are actually going to be liberating for us financially.
So, Madeleine, I have a question, unless you wanted
Sure.
to say something more about Pisces. Are any of your courses that you're teaching, are any of them supportive of helping people navigate through some of this stuff?
Oh,
Because I know
absolutely.
a number of the courses you've done in the past have been really great with the managing, balancing the masculine and feminine energy in order to manifest and move forward in life.
Yes, yes, yes. Right now, I have a workshop going right now that I'm teaching how to connect with the cosmos. So I'm teaching how to do the chart, and I'm giving everybody very basic, simple information about understanding your chart. We're going to teach you how to pull your transits, and then how to work with tarot, how to ask questions on these certain transits, and you throw tarot on them. So we're working with these 3, and we have a really good time. You get to join my private Facebook feed, and then I interact with everybody, and everybody posts their feeds or what's going on in their chart and transits. We all have this sort of conversation going on, and everybody gets a read in the course, because I do readings. I use every student as an example. So I'm doing readings and we're pulling your chart. I want to get you familiar with your chart. So it's just, that's the goal, is to help you really connect yourself. I'm teaching you how to do it for you and for another person if you wanted to. And it's honestly not that hard. And that's what I'm teaching people, how to just get, and so by the end of this 5-week course, you can either do it for yourself or others in a beginning to moderate level, I say, depending on how gifted you are at this. A lot of people are very gifted at it. They're already ready for it. And then other people, even if you're not super, like you've got your moon in the 9th house, that's not where you're intuitive. This is information that you can use no matter what you do in life, no matter whether you do it for other people or even just for yourself, whether to know whether you should go on a road trip or, things like that. It empowers you to know your chart, everybody. It's kind of like I say, cooking. Learning how to cook some decent meals may not necessarily make you a chef, but to know how to cook is good.
Absolutely. And is this a situation where they can join you in person and online, or is this only for local folks?
Oh, no, we're doing it all on Zoom online. We're doing it all online. Yeah.
Okay. And where can people find it?
You can contact me on my email address, madelaineparker111@gmail.com, but also on all my socials. I'm going to be advertising this, and plus we've got retreats coming up, so I'm going to advertise it on my socials. So look me up on Instagram, madelaineparkerinsta, and my YouTube channel, which is linked here. And I will connect you with my friend Lindsay, who manages and does it all, because I love that she does that. She's organizing it all.
Actually, I think all of your info is in the description. So if anyone wanted to reach out to you, they can just click through there too, which is really easy. So is there any
very
other
comprehensive, simple course that you started to be able to do this for yourself? And then you can go on and learn deeper. And I will be doing other courses. And in my courses, we integrate all the ascension information that's coming out. The fact that we're shifting to feminine energetically, it's very much in astrology. So that's very much part of the conversation. And it's very interactive. Everybody talks, everybody pulls cards. We ask questions, everybody pulls a card up. Oftentimes everybody gets the same card. We just all go, whoa.
Oh, how fun. That's super fun. I may have to pop in sometime.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And I want these to expand, because I want them to be spiritual workshops where we do have other practitioners coming on and teaching other modalities. Like, I know I love your other things, so maybe we will have you come on and start teaching that as well, or something like that. But I want to see this expand.
It's just so important, I think, for everyone to find whatever it is for them. So it could be astrology, and it could be soul contract readings, or human design, or the gene keys, or energy work of some sort. I mean, there's so many.
I guarantee you, anybody learning just a few things about astrology, you will open up your mind. It will change you. The people that have done great things in this earth, I know they studied their chart. They saw their potential and they had faith in it. And that's what the astrology chart does for you. And it's the difference between being lost and not sure and stepping into who you truly are. It's powerful. So
it is extremely powerful.
Not going to hurt you to know your astrology, in my opinion.
I agree with you for what it's worth.
Yeah,
because it really does. Yeah, it really does make a difference. Yeah, absolutely. So,
okay. So did
right,
we finish Pisces? I guess we did. So yeah, I guess we're done with the Pisces thing. Yeah,
I think so. I think we
did
pretty much
it all.
wrapped all of that up. And everyone, you can, all of our contact info is below. Madeleine has that amazing workshop that's coming up. I'm working on some courses and some other things that I'll be sharing more about as time goes on. Dreams are huge too. So I wanted to just bring that into the mix and remind you there's a couple of free videos on dreams, on how to remember your dreams, on how to understand your dreams, how to connect in with your dreams, how to
5D.
Support that process. So just a reminder that that's available.
Yeah, because we're moving into the age of Aquarius. So what that means is we're because the 11th house, astrology is 12 houses. The higher the number, the higher the frequency, the higher the dimension. And the 11th house is the age of Aquarius. That's why everyone sees 1111, which is everybody aligning to God rather than to the matrix or each other. Everyone held up by their relationship with their divine and led and guided by divine. And it is a very high frequency energy. So the dimensions go. Aries is the first dimension, the red color chakra, 12, Jupiter, the highest, 12th dimension. So we're in the age of Aquarius, we're looking at working with the 5D, which means working with astrology. Astrology is the 5D.
There we go.
And we're talking about working with the fifth dimension, what you're talking about. This is the thing that we need to all wake up to. That's when we are living in enlightened, the most abundant golden era is when everybody's working with the 5D. That's in the golden ages. They're very spiritual. They always work with the higher dimensions, as above, so below, because they know that's an awakening up. We work as above to create a better below. That's my little spiel.
And when you are aligned with the above and the below feels so much better.
Yes.
And I'm going to rephrase that, because it's not even about it being better. I think you nailed it. You're in the flow of it. You are just moving along with some ease. It's not like you're pushing up against some sort of block that's in front of you. You're working with
stress.
You're working with the cosmos versus against it.
Exactly.
And that does feel very flow-like.
Yeah.
I mean, it does feel better. I really.
It's what I call flip-flop life.
Right, with your flip-flops.
Living in flip-flops, flip-flopping around. I'm kidding, but it is kind of a more relaxed energy that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Amalia, so grateful that you keep this structure going.
It feels great. Absolutely. And actually, Madeleine, hang out with me for just 1 second as we wrap up here. So Madeleine and I are so glad that you're here. We thank you so much for hanging out with us and learning a little bit about what's going on in the cosmos, because we, supporting each other, always say we learn from one another. And so you're learning a little bit from us, and then you're going out and doing, and we learn from you. So share, let us know what you're experiencing, because it's really fun.
It's going to be really exciting in the next month. I'm excited to hear how everyone's lives have changed.
Yeah. Oh,
because it's going to be a radical change. So
it's going to be a biggie. All right.
Yep. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, Amalia.
Thanks, everybody. Big hugs to
Take care.
everyone. We will see you in a couple of weeks.
Hola. Bye.